Hey guys, this is Amanda from Soul Scuba, and this is a 10-minute yoga break. So what we're going to do today is a really easy, relaxing, restorative pose, suitable for just about anybody. What you need for this one is a wall. Okay, so put down your mat on the floor next to the wall, or maybe you're in bed and you're like, well, you could almost talk me into doing this, but I don't want to get out of my bed. If your bed is up against the wall, you can do it there. So we just make do with our circumstances in yoga. So what we're doing today is called Viparita Karani. It's basically a fancy way to say we're going to put our legs up the wall. Also, if you have a yoga block like this, this might come in handy. So you can put me on pause for a moment while you get yourself situated, get your yoga block if you have one. If you don't have one, no worries, you can get by without it. So we're going to sit up close to the wall. So the wall is to our side, we have our knees bent, and we simply just use our arms and our elbows to swivel ourselves around and lift our legs up to a 90-degree angle. So once we're in that position, if there's quite a gap in between our hips and the wall, we can wiggle them a little bit closer. They don't need to be touching the wall. You can have a good 6-8 inches between your hips and the wall there. Your arms are just resting alongside the body. You can have them far enough away from the body so that the palms naturally turn upwards. That will allow the shoulders to relax. And if you have that block, we can place the block either at the lowest height or the medium height underneath the sacrum, which is where our lower back meets our hips. So we can bend the knees, press into the feet, so we lift our hips a little bit up off the floor, place it underneath the sacrum and just lower it back down and bring our legs back to the 90-degree angle. We can also experiment a little bit with our legs. You know, they can be touching if that feels good. They can be a little bit apart. And over time, we can even experiment with, opening them wide, like into a dragonfly pose. After a while, after they've stayed in a 90-degree angle for a while, we can even experiment with bringing the soles of the feet together and the heels together, coming into like an inverted butterfly pose. So Viparita Karani means basically like inverted action. Okay, so we are working with gravity here basically. So even though this is a very relaxing passive pose, we don't really have to do anything. There's something very active and very powerful and beneficial happening in the body right now. Because our legs are above our heart center, and especially if you have that block underneath your hips, then your pelvis is also slightly elevated above the heart center. It's allowing all the blood and the lymph and the fluid from the lower extremities to drain with ease back down to the heart. Normally the heart acts like a pump, pumping the blood and the fluid throughout the body. And when we're standing or sitting, the heart has to pump those fluids against gravity back towards the heart center. So this is like giving the heart a little bit of a break. And because we're giving the heart a break, we're giving the lungs a break, and we're just sending a message to the entire system that it's rest and relaxation time. So we're bringing a homeostasis to the system. We're triggering that parasympathetic nervous system, which is like the body's relaxation mode here. And the greatest part of this is that we don't have to do anything else. And there's a sweetness to that, knowing that for these few minutes, we have nowhere else that we need to be, nothing else that we need to be doing, because this right here is so powerful and so beneficial to our health and well-being. We're doing something really useful right now. Because we are practicing yoga, we don't just let our minds wander to whatever comes after this. We anchor ourselves in the present moment. We can do that simply by bringing the awareness to the breath. so we can connect with the movements of the belly and the rib cage, maybe even the chest. Tune into that subtle sensation of the breath entering and leaving the nostrils. And it might feel good just to focus on each and every breath without trying to influence it, just noticing the natural flow. Or it might feel more beneficial for you in this moment to initiate some of those deep yogic breaths, drawing the breath consciously all the way to the base of the lungs and letting the belly soften and expand, and letting the rib cage expand, letting the chest and collarbones rise, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, and then the exhalation is natural and passive. When we reach the end of the exhalation, we can pull the belly button inwards towards the spine and extend that exhalation to be a little bit longer. So we're helping out the system by, just eliminating a little bit more of those impurities and negativities, anything that the body no longer needs. We're allowing those impurities to be carried away by the exhalation. Each inhalation, we're bringing in the prana, the life force energy, allowing it to penetrate each cell and cleanse each cell of the body. And with this focus on the breath, we can even direct the prana, direct the breath to any areas of the body where we feel like there's restlessness or tension or maybe discomfort or pain. This is a really great tonic if you're feeling headachy, if you're feeling tense and stressed out, just to take a little adult time out and come into this position for a few minutes during your day. This is especially good for people who are on their feet a lot. This is good for relieving pain and cramps and swelling of the feet and the legs. So if you have issues with like swollen ankles or swollen feet, this really helps by allowing that fluid that contributes to the swelling to easily drain away and be processed and eliminated by the system. Also good if you have any circulation problems or varicose veins. Very good tonic for those things. So at this point, it might feel good to bring the soles of the feet together and slide the heels down towards the groin and just come into like a inverted butterfly pose. If that's not doing anything for you, then just come back into your legs up the wall, or even try like a dragonfly here. Or you can even put your feet up against the wall and just kind of open up your knees. And just keep those deep, influential, slow breaths going, cleansing the system, cleansing the mind of any tension or worries. And we've been here for a little while now. It's almost been 10 minutes. So if you're feeling really good, then stay here. You can stay here 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever works for you. And when it's time to come out, you can have the feet up against the wall, press the feet into the wall, lifting the hips up, remove that block if it's there. Slowly roll the hips back down, and then bring the knees in towards the chest, and we'll just roll over onto one side. And just spend a few moments here just transitioning, setting an intention to carry this relaxation and this feeling with you. And slowly press yourself up into a seated position and just take a moment to see how you feel after practicing 10 minutes of Viparita Karani. I hope you feel really good. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.